Welcome to our ROI Calculator. A system like this can help you increase your conversions in 3 different ways. First, it can help you get more leads by doing better inbound and outbound marketing. Secondly, it can help you convert your promoter leads to more referrals. Promoter leads are those leads that can never buy from you, but for some reason or another, they're interested in your brand or your message, and they'll talk to others and refer other leads to you. It can help you convert your early leads to qualified leads, and it can help you close those qualified leads better. By putting all of these conversions into a formula, we get our ROI calculator. This calculator shows you, in essence, how much more revenue you can get by selling to more new clients per year. We'll go through an example, a case example here. This case will be based on a smaller, medium-sized business that sells to enterprise. All of these assumptions are based on typical clients that we've worked with. So in this case, we're going to assume an average customer value of $15,000. And we're going to assume 70% of all of your leads will typically be promoter leads. 20% of your leads will be early, and 10% of your leads will be qualified. In this example, we're getting roughly a lead per day, so that's 7 leads per week, and this is pretty typical. Remember that in this number, we're not only including people who fill out a form or something on your website. We're talking about anybody worth nurturing, because by adding them to the system and nurturing them, you'll be able to increase the close rate of those leads and the referral rates of those leads and so on. So how much more leads can you actually get? Really, the 2 types of tactics here are inbound and outbound. And if you have a large market, inbound can be very effective, especially if you haven't done much inbound before. If you have a structured market, then outbound can be very effective to systematize and automate your outreach efforts. Because this is so varied, we'll simply put in a pretty low number here of 10% improvement, which is something that most companies can get. And that will increase your number of leads from 7 per week to 7.7 per week. Looking at the conversion rates here, this is the conversion that we see for our clients, a typical client. So of your promoters, 5% will roughly refer. Of your early leads, you'll likely convert 15% to qualified, and out of your qualified leads, it's likely that you can close 20% of those. So what kind of improvements can we get here? Let's start with your promoters. Most marketers see them as simply clutter. That's a mistake, because for some reason, these people are interested in your brand or your messaging, which means that they may be non-decision-making users, they may be students who might get a job somewhere, they might be industry experts or something else that have an interest in your branding. And by implementing simple marketing tactics to these people, simple drips, newsletters, just things to stay top of mind with good content, you can actually drastically increase your referral rate. So we're going to assume an increase of 40%, which is not uncommon, and that will take your referrals for promoters from 5% to 7% referral rates. Next, let's look at those early leads. So with these early leads, you can create personalized, trigger-based marketing and really use all of the features of your marketing automation system. Using tactics like this and constantly improving and implementing new improved tactics that optimize your conversion of these, you can get a 20% increase in effectiveness in the typical case. And that will take your conversion of early leads from 15% to 18%. Looking at the qualified leads, you can help your sales close more. Don't see this as a handover. This is a mistake that a lot of marketing and sales teams do. They see a lead as handed over to sales, and now it's sales' turn to manage them. Marketing can actually really help sales close these deals here. And you do that by providing sales intelligence. You provide tools that make sales more efficient and effective, and you provide assistance so you can take care of a lot of the leads that they don't have to worry about, so they can focus on the really important ones, and they can trigger nurturing sequences and other means of nurturing leads. A 10% improvement here is not unrealistic. So we'll assume that, and we'll go from 20% conversion to 22% conversion of qualified to closed. So with these improvements, going from these numbers to these numbers, what's the end result? The sales you get via your promoters, meaning people who refer other early leads that then close, will go from $5,000 to $11,000 per year. Early leads that ultimately close will go from $32,000 to $47,000 per year, and closing qualified leads that you close will go from $109,000 to $132,000 per year. So in total, this means that your sales to new clients goes from $147,000 to $191,000. So that's a $43,000 improvement. And compared to, as an example, where our premium package for a system where consulting is included costs $10,000 per year. Now, are these numbers realistic? So based on our client experiences, the answer is yes. But this takes time and effort. It's not going to be immediate like that. So a few things to keep in mind. Number one, it's not just about the system. You also have to spend your time on implementations. Ongoing implementation and consulting is included for as long as you have the system. So we'll take a lot of that off your shoulders, and you'll get some really cool implementations that will save a lot of time. Secondly, start small. For example, you might start with a simple generic drip sequence that targets all of your leads, regardless of what type they are, and you'll immediately get benefit from doing that. And then add improvements and additions as you go, and of course, we'll help you create a roadmap for that. If you're patient and if you keep doing this, numbers like these are achievable within 1 or 2 years if you keep up the effort. Is all of that effort worth it? Yes. The value you get from this will be continuous. Every time you make a small implementation that increases the conversion rate, that conversion rate will continue giving you ROI basically forever. Now, what should you do? Experiment with this calculator. Also try to see what would happen if you start slow. You just do a simple drip sequence and see what kind of improvements would you need to reach break even, basically meaning that this number becomes more than this. You can go to File here and click on Download as Excel, and then save this to your local computer, which allows you to experiment on your own and present to your own team. And after you've tried it, go to funnelbud.com and request a demo or a free trial, and one of our project managers will be happy to share their screen with you and look at your calculator together and discuss your numbers and the different tactics you can use to get ROI from this.